Hello, my name is Ryan Sanders, and I'm going to be talking to you about overdoing it on protein. Is it even possible to overdo it on protein? For over the last 13 years, I have been working with everyone from busy professionals to athletes, taking them through proven methods to reach their success in their health and wellness. As a certified strength and conditioning specialist and a certified sports nutrition coach, I specifically work with individuals to take control of their health, optimize performance, and build sustainable habits that stick. Here, I share the stories, the lessons, and the strategies that make long-term wellness possible. So, as I mentioned, is it possible to overdo your protein intake? I wrote an article, let's see, I think that was last Monday. It was within the last 10 days talking about this very particular topic. And I thought it'd be good to go ahead and cover it in our Monday Launch Live, very specifically because protein seems to be one of those high, what shall I say? It hits the conversation in health quite frequently. It comes up as a article or a conversation piece frequently. The question is very regularly asked, well, okay, how much protein should I have? And there's also a lot of information out there coming from a lot of top content creators on the topic of the RDA, which is the recommended daily allowance, which was established back in the 1930s, testing on some college age boys or men, if you will, somewhere between the ages of 18 and 22. And that was how we got the standard for how much protein we're supposed to have. So if you're not 18 to 22 and a boy slash young man, then chances are that standard is probably going to look a little different for you. But ultimately, the number came out to 0.36 grams per pound of body weight, and that is per pound. And the kilograms would be zero point 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. Now, if you do that, that means 36 grams for every 100 pounds of body weight, or 18 grams for every 50 pounds of body weight. Or if you want to be even a little bit more granular, 9 grams of protein per 25 grams, or excuse me, 25 pounds of body weight. So hopefully that gives you a really quick cheat sheet. I'm sure you can do it in 25 to 50s and get relatively close. You'll find that that number is quite low. And the reason why it is low, and it's not because we have necessarily an automatic reference point to what would be a good amount of protein, but more so, it's low because that is for someone who's literally sedentary, sitting in a chair pretty much most of the day. If you're sitting in a chair for at least 6 to 8 hours and you're not exercising, you're not walking even, you're considered sedentary. You need to get into about 2 workouts a week, plus at least walking 3 times a week to get out of that sedentary category into lightly active or moderately active. And then from there, you can get into moderate to highly active, or athlete would be working out 5 to 6 times a week, plus walking, etc. And with that being the case, we find that there is a caveat that hasn't been discussed, but is being discussed more, where it says, now this is the bare minimum for a sedentary person. Those who are more active, pregnant, or aging require more grams of protein. Now, what we find on average, based both on your average individual, or more importantly, the needs of the average individual, we actually find that the true recommended amount of protein is actually 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. Some say per pound of ideal body weight. So let's say you're 180 pounds, you actually do a lot better at 160. That means that your number is going to be somewhere between, rough math, 132 to 160 grams. It's probably a little bit wider range than what the actual numbers are. Let's see, 116.32. So I was off. 128 to 160 grams of protein would be the actual ideal amount of protein per day. Now you're like, whoa, that's a lot different. So 160, barely half of that is going to be, let's see, barely 100. So 80 to 100, right? Somewhere in there, 90, 100, 110. So that's a big jump, right? So oftentimes, if I get that response, well, Ryan, that's quite a lot. Then I say, okay, work your way up to that. If you're in the 128 to 160, see if you can hit 100 grams a day to start. And once that becomes more normal, more regular, consistent, then you work your way into 120, 130. And then if you find energy going up, if you find muscle sustained, you're feeling more recovered, less injury prone, you're feeling, a lot better in the context of just overall experience, because protein does several things. It doesn't just assist with repairing and building muscle. It actually breaks down into amino acids, which support many different functions, key specifically cellular functions. And so when you're getting that right amount of protein in, effectively, you're going to notice a lot of health benefits, a lot of boosting in energy, in gut health, and in your ability to think cognitively, and your sleep, and your exercises, your workouts are going to feel a lot better. So there's a lot of different functions that keys into and ultimately provides some great experiences in that realm. So I think one other thing that's very important related to the world of protein, and if you've been here and you've watched any of our Monday Lunch Lives or interacted with us in any of our other social media, you've probably seen us talk a lot about this. And one thing I would say that is really important here is, can you overdo it with protein? We are at a point where this is a question as far as saturation level of information, protein overload is effectively the question. Just a sec, excuse me. My nose is seemingly bothering the crap out of me here, so I apologize. All right. And so I noticed when I wrote my article last week, the CNN had dropped an article asking the same question: can you overdo it? I think that they were probably a little understated. They were connecting with either a nutritionist or a physician, and they were kind of leaning a little bit more towards that RDA I just explained. And not necessarily, they made the point that that is for sedentary people, but I don't think they went far enough into the implications of how important protein is. But on the other side, there seemed to be a little bit of hesitation about going beyond, say, 1 gram per pound of body weight. And someone that we followed and really stayed up with more or less on a regular basis is Dr. Peter Attia. We heard him speak in Dallas a couple of years ago. That was really cool to get to hear him speak live and address this issue, as well as others in health. And he provided a article that really went into the depth of what we call the upper limit. And what is that upper limit for how much protein we can have on a daily basis? And his conclusion was very, very much so, it would be very hard to hit that potential upper limit. And not only that, it's rare, but if you are getting close to that upper limit, we're talking 2 to 3 grams per pound of body weight, which is quite excessive. I mean, for me, let's see. Well, no, excuse me, 1 to 2. So 1.8 to 2 would be, kilograms. It was based in kilograms. That number was feeling a little bit high. So 1.8 grams to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight would be that upper limit. 3 would be even higher. And he was saying that some of the concerns that come into it are stressing out the kidneys for all the processing, the usage of protein to a point where you don't need it for cellular health, protein synthesis for the muscle tissue, all of the rest of the leftover protein, if you will, turns into extra energy, which can be stored as fat. That's a possibility. But I don't think there was really, from his synopsis, any concern of us hitting such a high upper limit that it would be a real factor, a real challenge. Now, this is someone who is looking at a lot of centenarians, those who reach 100, looking at the experience. There's probably a better word for that. Looking at the scientific data that determines what gets people to living 100 years, getting to that 100-year mark and beyond. And I wasn't getting the sense that there was really much concern about hitting too much protein based on the article. What I'll do is I'll drop that article as well as mine into the description for today. But long story short, to wrap this up here, one thing I think is really important is that we can't stress enough getting in enough protein per day for the average American. I've seen people say at least 100 grams per day for everybody. I think that would be a fair assessment, especially with the context of how much the average American weighs. Like the average American male weighs about 200 pounds per the NCHS. That's a regulatory company or agency that gave that number. If you Google it, you'll find probably something very close, like 199.6 or whatever it is. I just said approximately 200. So if you're an average male in the United States and you're on that lower RDA, that means you're only getting 72 grams protein per day, which is to survive. That's not to thrive. So if you want to thrive, that means you want that number to be about 150 minimum. Probably actually 160 grams of protein per day, all the way up to 200 grams per day. And that may seem like a lot, but you'd be surprised what could get you there if you look at the right foods. Now, I just want to say this as a quick end. Starting October 1st, so a week from Wednesday, we're going to be launching our sparkling protein. I just did a talk on this last Monday. And we're really excited about this particular product. One, because it is literally pure protein. There's no sugar, there's no fat, there's no milk in there, there's no lactose-based content in there. It is a proprietary form of whey that does not require lactase, if you're familiar with that aspect. There is no artificial sugars, colors, sweeteners, any of that sort, preservatives in there. With the exception of, nothing in there as far as artificial. And then we're using a sweetener called Red M. It's basically a fermented cane sugar that does give it some sweetness. It's not excessive. It's not too light. And ultimately, this sparkling protein, coming from our partner, Shaklee, it tastes really good. And it is 40 grams in a 12-ounce can of sparkling water protein, if you will. Very delicious. And so we're getting ready to launch that on the 1st of October. So if you are looking for some different solutions that can get you those very quick servings of 30 to 50 grams protein per meal, which is going to be what we need to get us into those recommended amounts. I mean, if we're looking at 100 grams a day, that means we need at least 33 grams of protein per meal, right? 30 to 50 is the range. And of course, if you are higher in weight, not ideal weight, then obviously those ranges are going to be bigger. Oh, the other one is how much can my body absorb? How much can the body absorb as far as protein? I've had 80 and 100 gram meals, 100 gram of protein in one meal before, and still saw the benefits of protein synthesis, aka muscle size and strength increasing. So I was still getting the benefits without losing any of that protein in the absorption process. So you're looking for some very quick and simple, clinically studied, peer-reviewed, backed by science, hard science. Okay, if you know anything about the clinical process or scientific process to get data clinically reviewed and accepted, it's not an easy process. It's very scrutinized. And then also tack on the peer-reviewed approach, which just further solidifies the science of that group that did the initial research. You'll find that these studies are very legitimate, very credible sources of information. That's what this product has been backed on, as well as all the other things that we use: food, macro breakdown, timing of food, and then the cherry on top, the last piece, supplementation. If you are looking for some assistance in this regard, I'd be more than glad to assist you. We have our 15-minute strategy call. If you are looking for something simple that's in a 12-ounce can that can get you a quick meal, either for breakfast, if you miss breakfast every day, our sparkling protein would be fantastic. If you're getting a workout in the morning, quick shower, and you're out the door, and maybe you need something to pick up for lunch, you do a salad, but you could use more protein, sparkling protein, or our life shake, or some of our different protein hack meals that we have to boost your protein meals throughout the day. Whatever you need, go ahead and let me know. Drop protein in our comments today, and we'll connect with you, get that 15-minute strategy call scheduled, and get you set up with our strategy or one of our products that will get you well taken care of. All the products that we have with Shackley are backed by a 30-day guarantee, no risk. If it does not work for you, you do not like the products or any other scenario, fill in the blank, you get your money back, no questions asked. And that's something we love about working with our partner Shackley, is they're so confident in their product, they're willing to give you all their money back, even if you finish the entire product. Oftentimes, when I've helped a client with this process, it's been, I think, twice in 3 years that we've done it. They oftentimes just tell the client to keep the product and they get their refund. So anyway, this is Ryan Sanders with Project Fresh. This is our Monday Lunch Live, and we do this every Monday at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's just a tad bit delayed today, but really glad to have you guys and keep this moving forward. So we'll see you guys next Monday, the 29th, same time, and we're looking forward to keeping this going as we finish up 2025. Soon we'll be in Q4. I believe it, October, November, December, holidays, and oh my goodness, the end of the year. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Hope you have an excellent day, and